Okay, I'm Woodie Lawson, a senior at Jackson State University. For research methods class, I am interviewing Dr. Cedric Buckley from Jackson State University Biology Department. Hello, Dr. Buckley. How long have you been tenured at JSU?
I got my tenure, I want to say, in 2009, and I started at Jackson State 2009 or 2010, and I started at Jackson State in 2003. So I've been tenured. I went up for tenure after about 7 years working at Jackson State.
After about 7 years?
That's right.
Okay. How long did it take to go from eligibility to actually being tenured?
Actually, I was fortunate. As soon as I became eligible for tenure, I applied, and the process took approximately 6 or 7 months, and I was awarded tenure.
Okay. Would you like to describe what the process was?
Well, think of it this way. You work for 6 or 7 years, and then your employer asks you to essentially produce a portfolio of the last 7 years of your life at that job, and your contributions, both academically, student advisement, research, performance, whether it be papers published or grants received, all of that you put into written form, and you actually, at least at Jackson State, you produce a physical binder, a 3-ring binder that has different sections in it that speaks to all of these different aspects of what they want to know about what you've been doing over the past 7 years. And you present that to your department chair, and the department chair turns your portfolio over to a tenure committee, which is made up of other professors in your department who've already gone through the process. And from there it moves on, hopefully, if you're successful, it moves on to the university tenure committee, and then on to the president, and finally to the institutes for the institution for higher learning for the state of Mississippi. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. What type of research have you done, and why?
Wow. So I am a biologist who studies viruses. That's where I got my training in graduate school. So that's my original research focus. When I became a postgraduate on the PhD level, I worked in a lab that studied genes, gene organization, and how genes change over time. That's called gene evolution. So that actually is where I have focused my efforts since I've been at Jackson State, in gene evolution. And I've been fairly successful. I've trained one graduate student on the master's level who earned her graduate degree, master's degree from Jackson State University, and she's actually now completing her PhD at Carnegie Mellon in Pennsylvania. And I've trained numerous undergraduates. I haven't been as successful in earning grant dollars, which is the other major benchmark for success as far as being a researcher. Really two things: earning grant dollars and publishing your research. I've been moderately successful in the publishing aspect, not as successful as I would like to be in the grantsmanship is what they call it, aspect. But I'm working on it.
So the grant that you're talking about, the earning of the grant, would that be personal earning or earning for your institution?
It's for the institution. So these grant dollars are not typically awarded solely to an individual. It's awarded to the professor on behalf of the institution. I think that's the right way to put it. There may be a portion of dollars in the grant that are allocated to help offset summer salary that a professor may or may not earn. But the majority of those dollars are used to purchase, research equipment, research supplies, maybe to help pay for stipends for undergraduates who you're training. But those funds are not intended to support the researcher's personal salary. Typically, that's the case.
So how often do you do research?
So research is one of those things where it's ongoing. There's really no light switch that you turn on and off and say, okay, now I'm doing research, now I'm not doing research. Research is one of those dynamic processes that's going on all the time. So you really never turn it off. You're always thinking about the next research question. You're always, at some point in the back of your mind, thinking about how to design a particular experiment. It just never ends. If you're into research, if that's something that works for you as a scholar. Not every scholar, in my opinion, is cut out for research. Not every scholar needs to be. But if that's something that you aspire towards, it's ongoing.
Okay. What type of research would you like to do in the future?
Now that's an interesting question. So right now I have a few undergraduates working for me, and we have started to look at a new line of research related to online learning at HBCUs, specifically looking at science laboratory online courses and how best to design these types of courses within the HBCU environment that would maximize transfer of knowledge to our science majors who, for various reasons, may not be able to sit in on the live course and would prefer to take that laboratory course in an online format. It turns out that delivery of online learning for laboratory coursework is not an easy proposition. It takes some planning. It takes a different sort of forethought to produce online laboratory experiences that mimic what you could get in a face-to-face classroom laboratory environment. So that's a line of research that we're currently interested in and investigating. That's more science education as opposed to what most people would consider hard life science, biomedical type research.
Okay. Dr. Buckley, on behalf of the Mass Comm Department, Dr. Monica Flippingwin, and myself, we would like to thank you for this interview, and this concludes our interview session.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. I wish you all much success in your careers, and I hope that those research flames continue to grow.
Thank you.